Homecoming weekend for Texas A&M-Corpus Christi. The men and women's basketball teams hosting Incarnate Word for a doubleheader today at the American Bank Center. As expected, a great atmosphere at ABC. Izzy and the students all getting down. But also a great basketball game tonight. Islanders would build a lead early off the inbounds pass. Trey Gray with the corner three, you betcha. Islanders getting things rolling, but the Cardinals would hang around all night long, however. Early first half, Dwight Murray knocking down the three ball here, makes it just a 4-point game. But the Islanders would have an answer all night long in this close one. Typically that answer was Kareem South. Watch my man here working hard for the open shot and dropping that tray ball. He had a career high 25 points. Solid game for South. Later in the second half, what can Brown do for you? Kyle Brown creating havoc. Getting a steal, does miss the tough layup, but no worries. Deshaun Talton's there for the second time's the charm bucket. Islanders get a much-needed Southland Conference win, 70-61. All right, men got a win. How about the women? The first of today's doubleheader. Islanders enter today 6th in the Southland Conference standings. We'll pick things up in the second quarter. Islanders trailing by 1. Tiara Matthews with the strong low post move. A&M-CC takes a 1-point lead later in the quarter. Cardinals would continue to stick around just like in the men's game. Durs trailing by 4. Junior Emma Young getting 3 the hard way. Through contact and 1, she would knock down the free throw, so just a 1-point game. Just a few possessions later, Young this time is going to be passing it to Alexis Bryant. Pigtail power. Bryant with the 3, giving the Islanders the lead, and they would hang on for the win today, 57-49. The Islanders complete a homecoming sweep.